Hi, this is Buzz, part 4 on this 56 Goldtop that I restored, and I've done the Relic work on it. The last video it was like, you know, the brand new condition, and I've weather checked it and did some very light dings, scratches, scuffs, but real light on that. And as you can see, that that maple plug that I had to put right there, it's not even showing. There's only one angle where I can still see it, and it's like a real sharp angle from over here. Otherwise you can't even see it at all. Matches the contour of the top perfectly. And I might add a little bit more, like right there, get that clear lacquer off of the maple and then darken it. Just the typical real light stuff, not the road worn, the cheap stuff that you see on every brand of guitar out there now, you know. I wanted this to look realistic, you know, not like it's been dragged behind a truck. And I just dulled down the neck. Didn't do the wear through the neck, because if you go down to the wood it'll get sticky. Mahogany is different than maple. When mahogany gets down to the wood, the sweat from your hands can rot the wood. So even if you did go down to the wood, you would have to have some kind of a protective coating, either an overspray of lacquer, shellac, or whatever. But that's just the way it is with mahogany. So here's the back wear. I didn't do any yet. I didn't do any buckle wear. I don't have any 70s style buckles. But I don't know, if somebody plays it hard, it's probably going to get that way very soon anyway. So I'm going to plug it into that Gibson GA-30 down there that was made in 1957. The 8-inch speaker's disconnected. When I first got it, it needed an output transformer, so I took it to a professional amp tech, and he put in a Hoffman output transformer, and it's running on 5881s. And right now I have my voltage regulator dialed down to like about 70 volts, because otherwise this is too loud for this room. There's no master volume. And I'll show you, it sounds just like Clapton with the Blues Breakers through his Marshall. So I hardly make this video, but about this amp. Danny Russell at Blitz Amps, located in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. Did a lot of business with him. Did repair and fixed, modified, custom built a lot of amps for me. I picked this thing up, I started playing through it, and I immediately started to notice it sounded like the Beano record. And I said, you know, that sounds just like Clapton on the Blues Breakers. And he said, who's that, or what's that? I think he was being sarcastic, but he's got a real sharp wit. Like, as if you never heard of the Blues Breakers, Beano, you know what I'm saying? I can turn up the voltage a bit, it'll get crazy loud. See what it was on. It was only on 65. Can barely stand it over 80 volts. Oh, I can stand it, but you know, in this house, being in the suburbs, I don't want the neighbors to hear it. And it sounds better with the more voltage. Sounds like Freddie King, it should. He was basically using the same kind of guitar and amp. He was using like a 54. This is a 56. And he was using that kind of Gibson amp, but it didn't have any mods, but still, there's a lot of things that affect the tone, right from the dimensions of the cabinet, the wood, the kinds of resistors, capacitors. A truss rod adjusted a couple of times. I think it's where it should be, nice and low. Plays like a dream, and it just doesn't get any better for P90s than this. Everything's in the same place because there wasn't any routing and stuff done there. If you see the other videos, you'll hear me explain that. They did plug the tailpiece holes, but I was able to see them and drill exactly where they were, and I mean pinpoint exactly where they were. And so I think the Relic helps on the tone. Vintage guitars, they'll season up. You could play for an hour, and at the end of the hour they actually sound better. Whereas with like newer guitars, you have to play them for hours and hours every day, and then you'll start to notice they start to wake up, you know. And here's the deluxe reverb amp. I have no clue as to how a vintage one is supposed to sound. All I know is that this one doesn't start to sound good until it's a little bit loud. and there's no modifications on it. Any day now. Oh, I have the voltage down, that's why it's taking so loud to let me turn the voltage up. I can barely play. The Stones probably used a twin reverb for that song because it does have about the same tone, but you know, they were quoted as many times as Mick Taylor said that they mostly used Fender twin reverbs in the studio along with like the Ampeg VT22s and VT40s, but judging from that it was a twin reverb. That must have been loud, because this is a bit about twice as loud as this.